1-0 guys, so let's continue where we left off the previous part. But firstly I wanna say sorry for my voice, I get sick. So okay, in this video we will try to implement few trivial routes for our server. We will still not use the database because the point of this video only to make a basic structure for our project. By the way, if you have not watched our previous videos, so there will be a link at the top of screen. Okay, let's open. By the way, I've created a special organization on GitHub. You can find it by github.com/klein-stein, and there are two repositories, letterpiece server and letterpiece client. So let's go to letterpiece server, and it has two branches: master, the main branch, and Devo is our working branch. So all fresh code will be in Devo, sorry. And let's go back. You can see there are a few tags. Text view prefix v is stable versions, where two ones. And it has also special tags, what's called episode and some number. These tags are references to our videos on the channel. Also, you can find links to the part of code what we have written on some lesson just directly in the description under video. Okay, let's open IntelliJ Studio and we'll try to create a basic structure of packages. However, firstly, I wanna say we will stick to the clean architecture. But firstly, I would want to rename our root package because I wanna it matches our channel name. So let's go to refactor, rename, and choose and type Kleinstein. Kleinstein, okay. Old package we can delete. Yes. Okay, and also we need to rename a root package name in our application conf. So let's type here Kleinstein 2. Well done. And need to check build Gradle. Build Gradle, yeah, group we need to rename to Kleinstein 2. Okay, finished. As the second step, we will add a run configuration. So press add configuration and press plus button. Next, let's choose application. We will name it run. And we need to specify our model with server.main. And our main class, it will be Kleinstein Kotlin. Oh, I'm sorry. It will be application Kotlin. Okay. Let's try to run. By the way, if you don't know what does mean the clean architecture, you can read about it by a link in the description of the video. So our server has started. Let's check all works. Okay, localhost. Slash API post. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, here. Okay, let's stop it. So now we're gonna create our basic structure of packages. Oh my god. Okay. Let's create package domain. There will be our entities and use cases. The package presentation. Presentation and it's all for this moment. Okay, in the main we also need to add as a package entities and use cases. And let's start from entities. We need to add all our entities here. So it will be post. Okay, let's convert it to data class. We need to provide a minimal set of attributes for our post. So so let's type ID. Let's make it long because we can have a lot of posts next to the message. Okay. So we have our first entity. I will copy it and we'll name it new post. Yes. IDs are now for new posts, so we can remove it. And I will also remove our counters and creation date. So there will be only two properties, message and created by. Let's delete unused import. Okay. And now let's copy our post and call it comment, and we'll name it comment. I'm sorry, comment. Okay. For the comment, we need to add some additional fields like parent, parent ID. Oh my, parent ID long, yes. And also we need to add a post ID. We could link our comment to some specific post. Yeah, let's format. Okay, that's right. So let's copy comment and we'll call it new comment. Yes. We also don't need ID here. Parent ID, okay, post created by, and we will also delete counters and creation date. Okay, so we have implemented our basic entities for this video. Now let's create a few use cases. Okay, let's name it get posts use case. Why not? And we're gonna override our operator invoke. So let's type operator fun invoke. We need to accept few parameters, our page and size of page. Oh my god, and we will return list of posts. Yes. However, it's better not to return a list of posts. We shall create some additional entity and we'll call it page. Page. It must be data class too. And also let's turn it to generic. The entity. Yes. We need to provide few fields. The first is index. Okay, page. Int total. Total is the number of entities in a collection. We will use long data type. And the last attribute is items. Our list of entities. Oh, sorry, we need to add well. Okay. Okay, so here we will return page. Yes. Now let's just return some stub. Page post. Yes, post. and page. Or we can also delete our generic specification because Kotlin knows it from returning type of the function. I will copy this use case and let's call it get comments. Yes. We need to provide additional parameter. It will be named post ID. Okay, and let's maybe change our signature function to page comments. Page comment. Yeah, also we need to delete and use it import. Well done. Okay, and now let's add yet 2 use cases to create a new comment and new posts. Let's name it new comment. New comment. Okay. It will accept post ID and our new comment entity. New comment entity, and it will return us a simple comment. Okay. So let's create a comment ID. We will generate some random ID. Random next long, and let's set up range from 1 until long max. Our message, we can take it from new comment message, and also we can take an after of comment of this comment. New comment created by creation date at let's create new date. Yes. And we will set our counters to 0. Seems I forgot something. Oh, parent. Of course, we need to provide post ID and parent ID. Parent ID we will set up to null, and post ID we can take from our parameters. Okay. So let's copy our get post use case. Okay, we can copy our new comment use case, and we'll call it new post use case. Change it to new post, and our function must return post. Okay, let's import. Change to post. Yes. Okay. We don't need to provide a parent ID for our new posts for our posts, so let's just delete it. Also, we need to delete post ID. Okay, let's rename new comment to new post. Refactor, rename new post. Oh, sorry. New post. Okay, so we created a basic structure of our packages and entities for the package domain. To continue, we need to add few new libraries. So let's go to build. So let's go to build Gradle, and let's add 2 new dependencies. So let's go to our repository because I don't remember name. Okay, we need to add Kotlin's datetime and Ktor serialization. Let's copy this. As you can see, Ktor version variable is not declared, so let's create it. Def Ktor version, and it will be 166. I'm sorry, we need to quote it. Yeah, So let's replace Ktor version everywhere for our variable. Yes. Yes. And also I prefer to use double quote strings only for dependencies where we need to provide some variables. So let's switch to single quotes our packages. I'm sorry. Just select it and press one quote, single quote, and the last single quote too. Okay. Unfortunately, we also need to add a new plugin. So if you go to our repository, you can see it has a new plugin, serialization. Let's copy this and let's also change version of our Kotlin JVM. We will delete release candidate suffix. As the last step, we can use a new Ktor version 1.6.7. Okay, so go back to the code, open our entities, and we need to add a special annotation serializable to each our entity. Serializable, okay. As you can see, date is another type for Kotlin serialization, so we need to write our custom serializer, but we will follow another way, so just change it to local datetime. These are the second dependency what we have added to our build Gradle. Okay, where's here. So it allows us to store a date time without link to time zone. We can delete unused import. And okay, let's repeat it with all our entities. Realizable. Okay. So and the last one is serializable too. When we change it all our entities, we also need to fix errors and use cases. So firstly, let's get the current time. Well, current moment. Yes. And now we need to convert it to local datetime type. So current moment to local datetime, and we will use UTC time zone. Time zone UTC. Okay. Comma. Now we can delete unused import, and let's repeat the same thing for new comment use case. Okay, let's delete unused imports too. As the last step, we can implement some logic for our getter use cases. So let's make something more interesting. Yeah, let's go at page total. Total we will set up to long max value. Oh yeah, the long max value. And now let's generate some random items created by, and here we can choose some random after random next int from 0 until 4. Okay, create it, add, paste. Okay, and now current moment to local time, time zone, UTC. Also, we need to generate some random counters for likes and comments. Like count random. Okay, next int, and let's make it from 0 until 1000. And same for comments. To not write this code again, let's just copy this. And paste in get posts. Okay, and we need to change our comment to post. delete unused import. Also, we don't need to provide parent ID and post ID. Okay. Now we have fully implemented our domain for the current videos. So let's switch to presentation layer. I will add some additional sub packages. We'll call it routes and handlers. Package handlers. Okay. Let's create entry point for our routes. We'll call it routing. I'm sorry, on Kotlin class, Kotlin file, routing. Yes, we'll create a special extension for our application class. Application install routing. Then no parameters, so just declare empty function. I'm sorry, empty extension. Okay. We'll repeat the same steps for the handlers, precisely for the error handlers. So let's create a new Kotlin file and I'll call it error handlers. Handlers and file. Okay. Yes, fun application. Install error handlers. Error handlers. I'm sorry, handlers. There's no parameters too, just empty and just an empty extension. So now let's create our routes. Firstly, we'll add post routes. Okay, choose Kotlin file. Call it post routes. Yes. We need to write an extension for the route class. So let's type fun route. And for example, get posts route. Okay. There is no parameters too. Now let's use a special function get, and we will provide our path. By the way, we will also follow the RESTful architecture, so all our paths will be based on collection principles. Okay. Yeah, need to create somebody. And now let's return something. I'll call respond. Okay. Need to import. And now we need to call a corresponding use case. So let's type, I'm sorry, I switched to Russian. Result page. And call our get post use case. Create a class and pass arguments. Now we just will pass 1 and 25. Let's return our page, result page. This code will generate for us some random page, some random JSON view posts. But we want to read query parameters so we could navigate by pages. So let's try to read our parameters. For example, page call query request query parameters, and we will choose page. Query parameters have string data type, so we also need to convert it to integer. And as you can see, it also can be null, so let's stop some default parameters. For example, by default it will be 1, and size, I just will copy, and size by default will be 25. So now we can pass real query arguments to into our get post use case. Size Okay, now let's create new root for the post method. I will just copy this and paste here. We'll rename it to post. And now here's a little tautology, but the first word is name of the HTTP method. Okay, let's change our function to post. We also have no any query parameters for this method, so let's delete the two first lines. And we'll try to get our entity, new post, call, receive, new post. Okay, let's import it. And let's call our new post use case. Post use case. Yes, where we will pass our new post entity. Okay, what's wrong? Oh my god, I forgot to delete post ID. Okay, it's well now. Also, I would want to rename it to just post. Okay, now let's copy post routes. Paste them and let's name it comment routes. Okay, we will rename our routes to comment. We need to change our endpoints little, so let's type post slash post ID slash comments and copy the same for the second route. Okay, as you can see, we have a special construction here, post ID. It lets Kotlin to know what this is not a simple URL, is some variable what we wanna receive in method realization. So let's call post ID call parameters, and now we can read our variable post ID. Also, we will claim tweet was not null and convert to long data type. Okay, let's switch to new to get comments use case. Import. I think we can change here too. New comment use case. Import. And we'll delete unused imports. Okay, now we can add our additional argument post ID, rename new comment, and our post to comment. Let's change data type to new comment. And we also need to get our post ID from the URL. So let's copy and pass post ID to our new comment use case. Okay, finally we need to register all our routes in the entry point. So let's go to routing. We'll call it routing. Route. We will call it API v1. API tells us what is just API for some external client, and we can't use it in a browser. And v1 also tells us what is first version of API. If in future we wanna upgrade or change format of our API, we will be able to switch to version 2. So all clients will continue to work with previous version, with our first version of API, and new clients will be able to switch to the second version. It's just very convenient. Well, so let's call our routes here. Get post route, get comment route. I prefer to sort it alphabetically. Yes. Post new comment, post comment root, yeah, and post root. Yeah, it's great. Now we can close all tabs, but this one. And finally, we need to implement our error handlers. We will implement a single error handler for not found error. However, before we will continue, let's create some additional model. So I will add a new sub package to the presentation. We will call it models. And let's create a new Kotlin class, error response. Yes, it must be data class. And let's provide few attributes called teacher, summary, string, and description if summary will be not enough. Description, I think we will make it a nullable string. Also, we need to mark it as serializable. And that's okay. Now let's install status pages. Status pages allow us to catch different HTTP errors like not found or internal server error or any other exceptions. So let's declare our new status. Status HTTP status code. No, I'm sorry, not found. Okay. And now we can return some custom error for the case when Ktor could not find some endpoint. Okay, let's type call respond. We should import. And now we will pass our response. I'm sorry, our error response. I think we will rename it better to response error. Yeah. So let's create an object. We can get error code from our it object by value attribute and summary by description attribute. Studio is complaining what our class was initialized partially. So let's go to response error and add some default value now. Okay. Firstly, we will delete alt routing and we will install our routing and install our error handlers. By the way, I don't like to see this warning about unused variables and unused models, so let's fix it. Say delete model, no, suppress unused for fun model, and also let's suppress for unused variable testing. Unused parameter, sorry. Okay, let's delete unused imports. And now let's tell Ktor what we gonna use JSON format. So we declare new install, content negotiation, and declare JSON. I will also set a pretty print flag for the demonstration, but you should not use it for the production server because it just will waste precious milliseconds for answer. Pretty print true. I'm sorry, true. Okay, let's go to check. If you try to go to the root path of our server, we will see our custom error. That's great. And now let's go to API v1 posts. Yeah, our server generated us some random page. Also, we can provide query arguments. So let's type, okay, I saved it in my history already. Okay, let's type page 2. Yeah, as you can see, we passed our argument for page 2. Also, we can control size of our page. So let's type size, for example, okay, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, 3. Yeah. To test post methods, you need to download some REST API client. I would offer you advanced REST client. You can install it by brew. Brew install cask advanced REST client. I have installed it already. So let's launch browser. Okay, now let's create a new post method. Localhost posts. We also need to provide few headers, except application JSON and content type application JSON. Yes. Let's switch to body JSON. Okay. I will just copy because I tested it already. Let's post. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's for comments. Let's post. Yeah, this. Go to our post and let's just paste it. We provided some message and who created this post. So let's send request. And as you can see, we have created a new post entity. Of course, it's fake because we still don't use the database, but at least we could check our routings. So now let's do the same for comments. I tested it already, so I just will switch to my previous request from the history. Yeah, for example, this one. Let's check. The response contains no body. Okay, why? Let's go to check. Field post ID is required for type will serial name. Oh, okay. Okay. We just need to provide post ID. So let's type post ID. Oh, I'm sorry. Field post ID is required. Okay, let's debug. Let's go to our routes, comment routes, and we will check why it doesn't provide post ID. Let's stop our debug. First, I will check our use case. Maybe I will find it. Post. Okay. Post ID, new comment. Go to new comment. Ah, I'm sorry. We need to remove post ID from new comment entity because we provided by Euro. Let's start again. Okay, let's repeat. Yeah, it works. And now let's also check some GET requests for comments. As you can see, it works, and we also can provide, for example, size, I don't know, okay, 1. Yeah, so all works perfectly, and we will continue in the next video. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.